Hello everyone, welcome to Sharmit. In this session, we are going to talk about another very important example for MCP, where we will be discussing about a tool that can actually read the original file. As we know that we are using MCP protocol for performing some operations, and one of the main operation of MCP is the file operations. Okay, so in this session mainly we will be discussing how to create a tool that can actually read the files from your system. And for that I have created the example with two files. One is server file and another one is the client file. So by the end of this session you will be able to understand like how to read a data from a file, okay, and what are the syntax or structure that we are supposed to follow in order to perform some read operation on a file, okay. And additionally I'll also discuss few interview related questions throughout the discussion. But before we proceed further, I just would like to recommend you to please go and check out the previously released session first, because they all are in proper sequence and sync. So if you follow it sequentially, then it would be much more easier for you to understand the ongoing topic, because for timing we are just mainly focusing on how to read the data from a file. But prior to that you should know about all the other eight sessions that we have already covered, because there we have discussed so many things and they all are connected with each other, okay. And for that you can also refer the Sharmit digital course book, which is freely available in the description box. There you will find thousands of sessions available in both Hindi as well as English language. So without any language barrier you can easily consume the content, and in case if you have any queries or questions related to that, then you can simply reach out to me through comment section. I would be more than happy to answer all your questions there, okay. Alright, so let's get started and see how to create the example where we will be actually processing the file for the read operation. So as we are going to read the file, so firstly we need one file, right, demo file. So for that I have created one sample.txt file here, which is just a normal text file, you can see here. And in this text file I just mentioned one thing, that is one message, like message coming from sample text file, okay. But in your scenario, in projects, like there might be some file where we have some data, so that we have right now. What we will do, we will just simply read this file data, because this is a demo program, so I just kept one line here, and we will read this data through client and server, okay. Alright, so once we have this file created, or once we have some file for demo, then you can create the server. So I'll show you what all things you need to mention in server. So in server, firstly, like I'm adding this, I'm importing this tool, that is FastMCP, which is nothing but a tool that will help us to create the server. Then on line number 19 we have FastMCP file tool server, okay, that can basically accept that is basically creating the server with the identity file tool server, okay. After that we are using this line, which is MCP tool, which is nothing but a decorator that will help us to create the actual tool, okay, that will help us to read the file. And remember, this line will tell the program that after that whatever function we are using is not a normal function, it's a tool that can read the data, okay. So this thing is done. Now in this method what we are doing, see, firstly we are receiving one parameter, that is file name, and the file name parameter is type of string, and it also returns the string. Now after that what we are doing, we are this is try and except, which is for error handling. If you don't know about it, don't worry, we will discuss this thing in detail later, but for now just try to understand, like it will check if there is any error, it will throw the particular message, that's it, okay. But we will discuss it in detail, and it's not a, you can say, MCP related thing, it's a Python related thing, so we are focusing mainly on the MCP part, okay. So what we are doing in this try block, we are opening the file. So this is again a basic operation of Python. So we are opening a file with read mode, okay, open file name R as F. So what we'll do, like whenever we want to read it, we will use f.read. Okay, f.read, and whatever data we will get from here will be stored into this content, and then that content we are returning from this tool. Clear? So this is when there is no error. In case if error found, let's say file name is wrong or something is wrong, then in that case it will return this simple message, error in file, and then the name of the file was not found. Okay, this is a generic error. Okay, or you can write like there is some error in the file not found, something like that. So overall what this tool is doing, it is just receiving one file name, then it is performing the file operation on it. In case if there is any error, it will throw the error, otherwise it will simply return the data that we have captured from the sample file. Okay, now tool is created, but how we will call this tool? So to call this tool, we will create one client file, and in this client file you can see firstly I have imported async IO, client session, studio server parameters, and studio client, which is a basic thing, right? After that we have defined this method, which is a main method, and here I am configuring the server params, studio server parameters. The command is Python, and argument is mcp9 server.py. Okay, then we have this thing which is async with studio client server params as read write, async with client session read write as session, await session.initialize, print connection successfully. Okay, so what it means till here whatever we have note down is something you can see like we are repeating in every example, and it is just helping us to establish a connection between client and the server. Okay, once connection is established, then we are actually calling the tool to perform the read operation. And on line number 35 you can see I'm using await session.call tool, read file, argument file name sample.txt. so what it will do, basically it will read the file, and then it will which file? Sample.txt file. So basically we are providing the file name from here. Okay, and then whatever response we will get from here will be stored in result, and then we will print the content, so file content. With this text I want to show my result, so I'm just fetching the data because it's a list. Okay, so it will be stored on 0th location .txt, so I will just simply printing that. Okay, and this is the default line which we kept on almost every program. Okay, so I think now you have idea like how actually it will perform the read operation on a file. Okay, so now next what I'll do, I'll just simply execute this program. So you can simply run this command, Python MCP9 -client.py, which is nothing but my file name, client file name. Then I'll press enter, and once I press enter, it will simply show me the message, that message coming from sample text file. So from where it is getting the data, it is getting the data from server file. Okay, so from client file we just pass the name of the file, then in server we are using the Python operation, that is for read operation, then it is reading the data from the sample.txt file, and then that data we are getting from here. Likewise AI model also read the data. Okay, so I think now you have idea like how helpful is MCP, because one thing, it is providing the common standard, second thing, it enables us, or maybe it enables the AI model to perform all kind of operation that is needed during the prompt clarification or while answering the prompt. Okay, so yeah, that's all for today, and in the next session we will discuss few more operations and sessions related to MCP. But before that, please do share your knowledge for this question. And today's question is, what method list dynamic resources template URI with placeholders? Okay, so I'm sure you know the answer of this question, so just go and go to the comment section, and please do share your knowledge in the comments, because when you share the answer, it will help us in 3 ways. First, it will help you to recall all the interview related questions for the exams and interviews. Second, let's say if someone is there who don't know the answer, so they can simply refer the answer from comment section, so it will help there. Third, when you are consistently writing the comments in comment section, then it gives me the notification that you guys are referring these sessions, and on the basis of that only I will release more new sessions to my playlist. Clear? So yeah, that's why I request you to please do share your knowledge in the comment section so that others can take a reference from it. So yeah, that's all for today. See you in the next session with new topics. So thank you for watching Tech Sharmit.